Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Welcome to another exciting episode of B3rdPower. How you doing, Sherri?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fantastic now that you're back.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I missed you all.
Yes, and we certainly missed you for sure. So why don't we go ahead and get caught up? Let's catch up, baby.
Let's catch up. Yes.
So where you been? Because you wasn't with me last week. Where were you?
Where was I? Well, I took some time off.
Yes.
I went to Vegas and had some downtime, some much needed downtime, and had a nice time. Vegas was very, very quiet. There was not a lot of people at all, which was nice because, of everything that's going on in the world. But I stayed extremely safe, even on the airplane, and face shield, mask, everything, and gloves. And
well, listen, I'm going to say that's fantastic. I'm glad you relaxed, but you already know what everybody want to know. Come on now, give up the goods. Did you win any money?
Nah, well, and that I won, I put back. So I put
Isn't
back.
That how it always goes, though?
Yes, and I totally know my limitations, and that's why I was only like 4 days. 4 days, because I can't be there long. I need to go and leave. That's me. I need to I can't stay there because I would have come home with money. But I was there too long. And what are you supposed to do the next day? Not try again?
I didn't know you could stay too long in Vegas. Did y'all go sightseeing? I mean, was it anything that was available?
Walked the Strip, of course, that was open. And we went to the Madame Tussauds, I believe I'm saying it right, Tussauds Museum. Tucson. Okay. Yeah. I couldn't remember. But we went to that museum. It was really nice. It was really small, though. It wasn't as big as
you thought it would be.
Yeah, it could have been bigger. But yeah, it was nice.
Good.
We had dinner on the what is that place called? The Stratosphere?
Yes.
We had dinner there at the top. Oh my goodness, that was just absolutely amazing.
I was about to say you needed it though, because when was the last time you actually took some downtime for yourself? I don't think you've been anywhere in the last couple of years.
I haven't.
No.
I haven't been anywhere. And then, just downtime in the house. But I haven't been anywhere. So I really needed to just get away. And I really want to see some blue water.
Me and you both.
I really want to see some blue water, man.
Listen, I don't go a year without going to the beach. And I did not go to the beach at all last year. And I'm like, this year, come on now. I need some beach time.
I need some blue water so bad.
Beach time. Sure.
Yes.
Anyway.
But I had a nice time. How were you and what did you do last week?
I don't know. It's a blur. Really. I don't know what I did last week.
It's a blur. Everything's just
it's a blur. I'm like, I knew the question was coming and I'm like, I have no idea what I did last week. I know I worked a lot. I did a lot of creating, but outside of, maybe that's why I can't remember, because I was off creating. So I was focused, hyper focused. And, but I know it was a good week. I just cannot tell you everything that I've been up to. We
can't pinpoint that thing.
Yeah. I had a great show last week. I had fun with Jeffrey. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You got to go back and watch the episode.
Great show.
Yeah. Because Jeffrey gave a lot of good stuff to watch.
Yes, great.
And I've been watching it.
Really?
Needless to say.
I need to do better. I need to do better.
And look, he right up your lane. He's in the Netflix stuff. You don't have no reason for not watching these shows he giving you, Sherri. I'm just saying.
I know. Did you see my post today, though, talking about creative? I need my creative mind to shut off. I really do. And that's why I really needed last week. I really tried to disconnect from my phone because, of course, that's where we do all of our business, right? Yep. I mean, that's where we take notes. That's where we do writing, emails, everything. And I really needed to disconnect. But it's like as soon as I got back, that night, my mind has, and ever since, has just been going. It's just going. And I need my creative mind to realize can you just go to sleep?
It has no respect for time. It's called when I'm working, you're working. So get up and write down what I'm giving you. I'm telling you. That's what your creative mind, I'm speaking for your creative mind. Get up and do what I say when I tell you. That's it.
And I'm fighting it like, no, I'm really not right now. Okay.
But hey, I mean, you have a lot of great things on the burner. So, I mean, the creative mind, we want it to flow because you're coming up with some fantastic stuff. Yeah. I'm telling you, the people going to want to know what you're doing. You have to release it slowly because you got a whole lot of things going on at one time. But you got some amazing things going on. Which, by the way, make sure you check her out because she doesn't do this, guy. Why doesn't she do this? I'm always the one thinking of her. Make sure you check her out because she has a session going on at the end of this month.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's how I know you've been on vacation too long. She got a session going on at the end of this month, y'all. Check her out. If you're into vision boards and you're ready to set your vision and you haven't already done it, or you want to make an adjustment, go holler at my girl, Sherri. She has a vision board session going on later on this month. See?
Yes, definitely. I appreciate that because I totally... I don't do a lot of self-promoting and I should do better with that. But you do have a lot of amazing things going on as well. But let me just say really quickly, because you guys know that, since she opened the door, it's 2020 dealt us a serious hand, a major setback, right? But if you're ready to just move forward and start in a new lane, if you're starting in a new lane because you have to start a new job, you lost a job, you're just not really sure where to go. You realize maybe, you know what, I'm not happy where I am. My job is driving me crazy. Even if it's not your job, even if it's your family, let's just be honest and put it out there. Even if it's your family, whatever it is, and you're ready to begin anew, let's take it seriously. Like vision boards, they work. They totally work. If your mindset is ready for change, right? There's that C word. Everybody's not ready for that C word, right? Yep. But if you're ready, yes, definitely sign up. It's January the 30th. And I'm actually sitting in front of boxes and stuff right now. And magazines right now because I'm putting the kits together to mail out. So, yeah.
And real quick, I don't mean to make it sound real quick, but that's a great segue. We're talking about vision, and today we're celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. This is time that we celebrate him. So just think, he had a dream, and we're talking about vision. And that is one of the biggest ways that we can continue to honor him, is to continue to have vision and go forth in accomplishing those dreams for the greater good of humanity. Because the reality is that when you're walking in your lane, as long as you're in your purpose, you are doing things to help build the community. That's right. You are doing things to help the community at large and to bring about a positive change and impact in the lives of those around you. So that is continuing the dream. It's not just for you. The gifts and the talents that you have within you, the wisdom and the knowledge that you have within you is not just for you. It is for you to go out and to make a difference in the lives of those around you. When we all come together and we work together, we affect change because we each operate in our own strengths. That's what makes us strong. Our strengths complements the next person's weakness. But we can only do it if we come together and work together to affect change.
That's right. And your purpose, and your purpose is your service.
Yes.
That's it. Your purpose is your service, whatever that is. Like we always say, baking a cake, if it's writing obituaries, whatever your purpose is, that is your service.
It is your service, and it brings a contribution. There is a every position has a place and a role in the bigger picture. Mm-hmm. And speaking of which, as we talk about vision and we talk about impact and change, we have a phenomenal show in line for you tonight, honey. And one of our guests, our guest, Joseph Pollaro, is doing just that. He is using his story to bring forth change and to help those who are in need as they work through recovery. I cannot wait to talk to Joey Pollaro later. Yes. And then we have another person in the house that's affecting change, sharing their wisdom and knowledge on a continuous basis on how to better live financially, how to grow your financial portfolio, and how to recover financially. And that's none other than our expert panelist for the Power Panel, Miss Ethel Davis. Listen, this is an episode you don't want to miss, all right? Mm-hmm. So make sure you are sharing, you are liking, okay? What I always say, sharing is caring. Make sure that you share, you like, and comment. We are watching the comments, so talk back to us, babies. Let us know if you got any questions. We'll definitely make sure your questions get on air. But with that being said, we can't start the show if we don't take a break. So go on, get your quick snack and your something to drink on and come on right back. This is B3rdPower here on You Broadcast Media.
Global Executive Staffing provides top-level executive staffing to federal and private sector companies globally at the most competitive price. They are experts in coordinating and expediting projects from design to development. Global Executive Staffing is a Department of Veterans Affairs, Center for Veterans, certified service-disabled veteran-owned small business. To connect with Global Executive Staffing, go to www.gestaff.com.
Welcome back to B3rdPower, where we are here on our third Monday of the month with our power panelist, Ethel Davis. How are you?
I'm great, guys. How are you? Happy MLK Day.
Yes, happy MLK Day.
Yes, yes. What does it mean to you? I was thinking about that today. What does MLK Day mean to you?
In today's time, it means more than it has in the past. And I can honestly say that, for years, you kind of took the day oh, wow, okay, it's another day off, even if you were doing something in the community. But today, the dream means even more because it's a sad to see, but good to see at the same time, that we are where we are at this time. But at the same time, it's good to know that people are still driven. They're still dreamers. They're still working hard, doing services in the community. So that's great to see. And, it's just really great to ride down the street in my neighborhood and see all of the awesome things that people were doing. We had community trash pickups. We had giving away food. All kinds of things were just going on in the community, and it was just amazing. But then you think of the dream and all that he fought for, and all that many, many, many generations of people that have died for, just to be treated like people, just to be treated like humans. And sometimes to see that we're still fighting just to be treated like humans, so it's a good thing, and it's a bit, so at the same time.
Yeah. I agree with that. Well, tonight I'm bringing you a restoration mindset.
Okay. Love it.
Okay. A restoration mindset has to do with, it goes biblical, but I'm just taking it from a commercial and a financial. Everything that was taken can be restored. But we have to have the mindset, whether we're in a pandemic, a depression, because something good can come out of what man tries to do for evil, as God says, he can turn to good, right? Mm-hmm. So what has happened that I think is good is that, the government, and I again, I'm not a political analyst, but the government lastly signed into a new stimulus package. And by now, hopefully most people got their $600. Mm-hmm. Well, I think the biggest part of the stimulus package that people didn't realize is that it gave more money for small businesses. And actually, some of the rules, the eligibility rules that applied the first round doesn't apply the second round. Mm-hmm. And so I'm so excited because I'm like, why are people not, as you said, visions and dreams? If you have it down, if you can see it, then why are you not taking advantage what is out here available to you? And as we now on Wednesday go through a transition, they're even talking about reducing student loan debt. Okay? And a lot of people is bogged down with debt. Yeah. But there's a lot of things you can do to reduce debt. And so, but you have to have a restoration mindset in order to get your arms around it. And one side of it is, I'm so excited. I can't hardly stand it. I'm so excited because this is going to be a good year for the stock market. It has to be. Think about it. Okay, we're all to 2020. We stayed at home. I was listening. Sherri said she went to Las Vegas, had on the gloves, everything, and we're getting all these vaccines. But we know it's going to take a time. Yeah. But it's going to come back. You got to get ahead of it. You can't be chasing it. You get ahead of it.
Yeah, I'm so like, I don't like to run behind the bus. I would rather be waiting at the bus stop than to be running behind the bus trying to catch up.
Rosie Parks already did that for us. Okay? So we don't have to sit in the back of the bus. We can sit in the front of the bus, okay? That's where I'm at. I'm in the front. So when you're in the front of the bus, what you're saying is, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get my seat. I'm going to sit in the VIP because, see, we have free will. Your mind is a terrible thing to waste. Uh-huh. So think about it. Okay, I can apply at grants, and there's so much grant money out here. I don't know what people's thinking. This is the best time to start a business. And women, and I have to say this, African American women are starting businesses. They're the number one sector that are growing businesses faster than anyone else. So just think, if we can learn from each other and put all the jealous, all that aside, and just share best practices and what can you do, we all could be at the front table, at the VIP. But you got to get here. You got to say, I'm coming out of this. See, I like it. I'm coming out of it. Yes. I've had COVID-19 and God brought me out of that. So see, it wasn't my time. So you can't sit here and keep doing the same thing. If the same thing ain't working for you, it's time to shift. Yeah. And you got to shift here in order to shift here. Because if you're not having different income streams, when one goes out, you sitting there like, oh, well, right now, this is a great time to be selling. Okay? Yeah. When I say selling, I'm talking about things that you have in your home. Some people want to be minimalist, so they don't want a whole lot of stuff. Get rid of it. Sell it.
Right.
It frees yourself. You don't have all that clutter. Okay. Then the second thing you can do, okay, I'm gonna start a business. Maybe I want to start 2 businesses. It came to me. I got another business that God just downloaded, and I was like, oh my goodness, I already have enough. But I was like, you know what, God, you show right. Because what is it? Why do you start a business? You found a problem that you could solve. Isn't that what it is?
That's what it is.
So if there's money to start your business, if there's grants out here that's designed for minorities and women, and if you have things that you could get rid of, one man's treasure, trash, another man's treasure, and then you can put money in the stock market. How are you sitting there saying, oh, you know, I'm feeling all down? No. Be optimistic. You got to say, and if the people you hanging out with or not, then you need to get you some new people.
Yeah. Immediately.
ASAP. And if you're the smartest one in your group, you still need to get you a new group.
That's right.
Because what will you learn?
Absolutely nothing. So you have to invest in yourself and invest in the people. And so I am all about investments. As you guys know, I am about the funds. But it's not just for me, it's for generations to come. Martin Luther King laid down his life. Kennedy's laid down their life. What are we going to do? We got to make it so that our next generation can step up on our backs. But if you're not doing anything for them to step up and pull them up, reach your hands back and pull them out, what do we got to offer? We have a lot to offer, ladies. So yes, I don't want to see the down faces. I don't want to hear about, I'm just drowning in debt. Yes, you say it. Okay, I'm drowning in debt, but I'm coming out of it because I got a restoration mindset. Yes.
But if I still stay into 2020, which is my past, I can't get to my future because my past has me in bondage.
Now, I have a question for you. So with you mentioning the resources for people to get that are available, do you have any quick resources that you can share? I mean, don't get me wrong. You still have a good business owner is still going to do research, but do you know of any quick resources offhand that will benefit? Absolutely. And can you share with us?
Absolutely. All you have to do is go to my website, www.vzd, V as in Victor, Z as in Zebra, D as in Davis, CAP.com. LowerMyBills.com is on there. Bankrate.com is on there. There is You Promise to help get free money for your children for college. I'm all about helping. But see, you got to go forward. You can't sit there and it's not going to come to you. You got to go out there. And so my website, I designed it for that purpose. So you can find out, am I paying too much? And it'll tell you, you're paying too much. And here are some other resources you need to go to. And then there is Women of Color Foundation. They're giving out grants. They want to help people. Womenofcolor.org. That's another one. But again, there's even, the new round of the PPP loans, like I said, they have lowered the eligibility. I don't know why people ain't jumping at that. And even if you receive one before, you can receive another one.
I have another question for you. So as we begin 2021, there are some people who may have lost their jobs or just have maybe if they've lost a second income with maybe a husband or wife not being able to work, but they really want to continue to work on their savings. Do you have any advice for them on how they can continue to work on their savings?
Yes. First of all, make a list of all the things that you don't need. You don't need cable TV. You can get it on the internet. Stop eating out as much. Simple things. You get down to your wants and your needs. And I tell people to keep a money journal so that you can see where every dime is going to. And you have to be disciplined. Because again, there's online classes. I don't know if people go to Groupon, but Groupon is offering a lot of free online classes to help people that feel like they need new skill sets. They're offering them for free. So there's no reason that if you feel like you've been misplaced, you lost a job, but you see on Ladders or Indeed, there's all these other jobs out here. I mean, I get it every day, list of jobs that are paying 6 figures. Why not take an online class and get your certification and keep it moving? This is the time to do it. So that's kind of what I think. And that's what I'm doing. Because I feel that, sorry, my assistant's not here, so I apologize that my phone is ringing. But that's what I think we all should be doing. The pandemic gives us time to figure out what is our next. And then the next thing I really like is the stock market is offering us a whales of opportunity. And it's not the companies that, the Amazon, those are still great. But our new president has already talked about renewable fuel. There's a lot of good companies out here that you can get into, and it's not a whole lot of money. We are always trying to help our nutrition. So there's a lot of Impossible Burgers, Beyond Meat. There's a lot of good things. But then, again, these are not recommendations for anyone. So let me be clear. But there's just, if you think about what we can do, there's a lot we can do to help ourselves financially. And there's a lot you can do right at home. You don't have to. You can start podcasts at home. You can do all kinds of things. But if you don't have that restoration mindset, your vision is very narrow. And that's what I believe. That's what's holding people back.
Absolutely. Well, yes, you definitely gave it to them real and raw, Miss Ethel, tonight. Yes, you did.
And make sure that you guys reach out to Miss Ethel if you have any questions about what she shared tonight. There's no better place than to get clarity from her directly. You can do that by visiting her website at vzdcap, that's CAP.com, and or you can email her at ethel@vzdcap.com. Thank you so much, Miss Ethel. We certainly appreciate you sharing your expertise and time with us.
I'm going to hang in there.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Now, guys, you know what we got to do. We got to take a quick break. But when we come back, we'll be sitting down with founder of Efficacy Life Coaching and Training, Mr. Joey Pollaro. We'll be right back on the other side of this break. This is B3rdPower here on You Broadcast Media.
Global Executive Staffing provides top-level executive staffing to federal and private sector companies globally at the most competitive price. They are experts in coordinating and expediting projects from design to development. Global Executive Staffing is a Department of Veterans Affairs, Center for Veterans, certified service-disabled veteran-owned small business. To connect with Global Executive Staffing, go to www.gestaff.com.
Introducing the new B3rd Powerhouse Band, Foundation, premiering February 2021.
Welcome back to B3rd Power. Listen, we're excited to be sitting down with the founder of Efficacy Life Coaching. He is a life coach himself, Mr. Joseph Pollaro. Why did I get tongue-tied suddenly? I don't know. Welcome, Joey. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I've been, quietly listening to the show previous, and I had mentioned that, man, I wish I was on this panel. I could have jumped into the conversation, and there's so much that was said here tonight that I can relate to, that I can turn into opportunity to help my clients and my family and my loved ones. But maybe that's another broadcast. But I am grateful for the opportunity to spread my message of hope, and I like to set, as always, I like to really just take a deep breath and set the intention that my hope is that today, by me getting vulnerable and being honest and sharing some of my darkness, that somebody listening to this broadcast or somebody listening to this broadcast might know somebody who can use this information to help themselves or somebody else.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And I'm listen, we don't have no problem bringing you back so you can jump in and play in the pool with.
I want to play in the pool.
I was just going to say, maybe we would definitely have you come back as one of our power panelists.
Yeah.
Definitely. We can talk about that.
Absolutely. Cool. So Joey, tell us really briefly about yourself. What is your story?
My story, I like to say that my story is a story of strength through failure. I'll briefly touch on my life, which was adversarial in nature, mostly due to my personal choices and paths that I decided to go down. That led me to really dark places, ultimately ending in complete defeat, demoralization, which led to a surrender, which ultimately led to me asking for help and deciding to take another way of life, another way to live, which began with my addiction to alcohol and drugs, which had started for me at a very, very young age. I had my first drink probably by the age of 10. And at that time, I don't think I really understood how much the effects of alcohol had on me. What it ultimately did is take a kid basically who felt really uncomfortable in his own skin, that felt other than, that felt less than. And when I put that stuff in my body, all that seemed to melt away. And at that point, I only know this in hindsight, however, but at that point, I know that it became my number one priority, which was to ensure and to protect my right to drink in the future. At most stories along these lines are relatively the same. I won't pay too much attention to it, but I will say that alcoholism and addiction is a disease that always gets worse, never better, once it grabs you. And, I was already in way too deep before I had any awareness that there was an issue. And it crushed me. It crushed me. It crushed opportunity. It crushed relationships. It took my freedom. It took my family. It took my self-worth. And ultimately wound me up in the place after 2 decades of complete defeat, without any sense of self, without the will to live. And I think a lot of times, complete surrender and defeat and all the defenses are down is a prime place to allow higher forces, universal forces, God, however it is you want to however it is you want to put it, is when the resistance isn't there, it's allowed to flow in. And ultimately it did for me what I was unable to do for myself, which was, put me in a position where I had some willingness to do some things that differently, and to take some actions that I didn't necessarily believe in, and commit to a new way of life. And, we were talking, obviously it's Martin Luther King Day, and you ladies were discussing it earlier, and it made me think of a Martin Luther King quote. I'm really big on quotes, and I feel that there's so much wisdom in there, and it really applies to what I just said, and how I began to recover from alcohol and drug addiction. And the quote is faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase.
Yes.
And so my entire recovery was that, I did not have the will to live. Despite overwhelming evidence, I didn't think it was possible. Even though I knew many, many, many people who had, experienced both sides of the coin, either, dying, but in relation to alcohol and drugs in one form or another, and family, friends, brothers and sisters in recovery, drinking themselves to death, accidents, car wrecks, suicide, murder, overdose. So I had personal life experiences with those because it touched me so close. And I also had personal life experiences with people who lived the way I did and got into a program of recovery and turned their lives around, and not only turned their lives around, but took that as an opportunity to be of service to others and sustained it over time. and I was in this limbo place. And I must have, I think because I was so defeated and I was so surrendered, that I had enough faith to take an action that I didn't necessarily believe in. And it, just take one step at a time. Like when we're trying to build anything, whether that's a life for ourselves or a business or a relationship or a recovery program, it's done one tiny step at a time, and for my recovery, I have to, in the beginning, I had to do it a second at a time, a minute at a time, an hour at a time. It's always done 24 hours at a time.
And I was going to say, Joey, that's just with life in general. Even when it comes to whether it's your recovery from drug addiction and alcohol, or whether it's just you changing a habit or a routine altogether, because there are bad habits out here that are not just drug and alcohol related. There are some things, it could be you're attracted to toxic relationships. You know what I mean? But it all breaks down to just that, one step at a time. Like, you have to live for each moment, because if you go or try to swallow the whole thing at one time, it's too overwhelming. And the reality is that it may force you back into a place of defeat and failure, because it just seems so overwhelming. But with anything, when you're changing a habit, I think that's a great point, that you have to take it one day at a time, one step at a time. And I even love how you break it down to 1 second at a time. Like, every second is an opportunity for you to fall. So you have to be intentional with that second of how you're going to proceed. And
but he said the key word in the very beginning, when he said that I decided to take another path for my life.
Yeah.
It was a decision, and people, you have to, once you acknowledge it, you make the decision. So you made a very valid point when you said that you decided, you know what, I've made up my mind, and I'm done with where I was. Something's got to change. Something's got to be different than where I am now. Anything's better than where I am now. And you made that clear decision.
Yeah, something about decisions, it's we make the decision and we commit, but that requires an endless series of very small, painful actions. Again, the tiny steps.
Yeah.
And, I make this, I've trained myself to make quick decisions, but then, when I don't feel like doing it, or it's not going the way I want, or I come up against a roadblock or a hurdle, or I fall and fail, I need to remind myself that I made the decision and I committed to that decision. And sometimes I need to do that 100 times a day, whether that's, with, taking back control of my health, or staying sober a day at a time, or building my business. I have to be doing a lot of little small things with the big things in mind.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to go back and remind yourself of your why, right? Why? Why? Sometimes you have to go back and just remind yourself, why am I leaving that Twinkie in the cabinet, right? Because the Twinkie is calling me. As you can tell,
I haven't had a Twinkie in so long. I'm going to get some after the show.
So, you have to remind yourself of your why. Right.
Yes. So. But Joey, you're doing some great things now, because now you have now recovered. It's a daily journey. I know you and I have talked about that before. Like, don't get it twisted. I'm still recovering every day. I'm still recovering because it's intentional. But now you are helping others recover as well. So tell us a little bit about Efficacy coaching, life coaching.
Sure. It's really funny how all this is tying together, because it reminds me of another Martin Luther King quote. And life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? And so, like, how I win is by being in a position to be of service to others. How my life of failure and mistakes and pain have become my greatest strengths to help somebody else walk the path that I have walked on, and help them do it faster and smarter and more efficiently and not alone. Mm-hmm. So what I do with my business is I help people in recovery from addiction. It doesn't have to be alcohol and drugs. It could be people, it could be sex, it could be food, which is also a big part of my story, because when I first got sober and got, hit with a whole bunch of depression that I wasn't equipped to handle, I turned to food. And part of my story is, when I got sober in 2009, I went from 2009 to 2015, I went from 220 pounds to 415 pounds. And I had hit another bottom. Like they say, there's always a bottom below a bottom. And although I stayed away by the grace of God from a drink a day at a time and a drug a day at a time, I got a lot sicker before I got any better. And I was killing myself with food, which really is, it's the same thing. It's really no difference. It might be a little less loud. It might not end me up in jail or on the wrong side of a gun, but it's definitely killing me. It's definitely hurting anybody around me who loves and cares about me and is watching what I'm doing to myself. And so that's a big part of my story. And one of the things that I help people, it's also very common with people in recovery, is to get separated from their poison of choice or behavior of choice and replace it with another behavior. So what I do is I help people, I help supplement their recovery programs with a more well-rounded, holistic, functional health model. And, you mentioned why, and the why is very important, but I have like some, I kind of struggle with the why, because as a person who had all the reasons why to live and all the reasons why to change that I contemplated and obsessed about and was told, it wasn't enough for me to take action. What I feel is the more important question is who.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that I had a choice. Like, who do I want to be? Like, I thought that, I was my past, or I thought that I was my upbringing. I thought that I was my trauma. I thought that I was injected beliefs and values that was either I've inherited or from a past life, or I picked up through education or religion or family, or however other way, I pick up all this stuff along the way. And so, one of the first thing I do with the client is to get really clear as to, where are they? What's the truth? Like, where are you today? Right? Mm-hmm. Like, where do you want to go? I help them identify their strengths and their virtues and their gifts and their highest priority values. And I help set up their environment to support them, and we identify what's in the way so we can start chipping away at that or circumventing it. And so, I help, you see this a lot in rooms of recovery, is people get sober or people drop the drink or the gambling habit or the spending habit or the food, and they immediately replace it with somebody else because they don't know that they have a choice to be somebody else. Right. I didn't know that I get to decide what values and beliefs that I live by. And I could decide that now. And it's not whatever someone else thinks I should believe, or someone else thinks that I'm capable of, or, my brain who thinks I'm really not capable of anything, which is a lie, So I help people take their recovery programs and supplement it to take them higher, to go further, to set them up to grow and, contribute beyond themselves. Or if some people don't have recovery programs. Yeah. And so I can help them design a recovery program that works for them.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So with that, the Core Mentors Association, that's in with the Efficacy life coaching, or is that separate?
The Core Mentor situation is corporation, Core Mentors Association, is an association that, to put it the simplest way, it's an association that bridges the gap between people who need help and connects them with the appropriate qualified people to help them. Okay. So, yeah, I'm a director of the Core Mentors Association for the addiction, recovery, anxiety, suicide, and depression category, in the health and wellness category. Okay. And my job as a director is to connect other people with people who can help them. And so that's
where is this based?
It's a virtual platform. It's corementorsassociation.com. I can include links for it. Mm-hmm. It's a building. It's just starting and building, and it's already helping a lot of people and helping a lot of businesses. And it's based on the premise of just connecting others with people who need help with the right people to help them.
And that is definitely the gap. That's definitely the gap.
Yeah, it's a gap. You know, you guys are bridging gaps right now. That's what they do at Core Mentors Association. I jumped on board because I think it's a well-needed platform, and so I do what I can to contribute there.
Awesome sauce. So, time always starts to fly when we're having fun, but there is one thing that I cannot let you leave here, or Sherri and I cannot let you leave here without talking about, and really quickly, Golden Nugget. It's something that I love that you do. And tell us a little bit about the Golden Nugget really quickly before we go. And then I want you to drop us a Golden Nugget on the way out to our commercial break.
Okay. One Golden Nugget is also a virtual space, a universe, so to speak, that is strictly about sharing knowledge and sharing wisdom. It's a social platform, but there are no likes or comments or people advertising. It's just people, they're little tidbits of knowledge or wisdom that is shared for anybody to go there in any category and be able to get it for free. It was founded by a man named Stephen Foster, and we got introduced. Somehow we found each other on LinkedIn, and he asked me to come on board as a founder member. And I just think that it's something the world needs more of, It's something strictly about sharing wisdom and taking people higher and uniting and not dividing. And most social spaces that you get into, there's a whole bunch of, separation and people getting on different levels, and a whole lot less uniting and a whole lot more dividing. So I jumped on board, and I try to put as much content as I can, and I invest my time and my energy with it because I think it's important. And Lynn got to leave me a nugget, and I want to get a nugget from you, Sherri, and even Ethel. I'll be hitting you up with a link because you guys have dropped a lot of wisdom on us tonight, and you guys have a voice the world needs to hear, and it's a great way that you can share a little bit of that, and it might land in someone's lap who it typically wouldn't, and be able to help them. So it's basically based on the premise that, a new belief adopted, or an old belief shed, or, an idea shared, or somebody even sharing their pain or their struggles or their adversity has the capacity to really produce a quantum leap in somebody's life like that. Awesome. I'm sure you guys have had those moments where you hear something and it's delivered at the right time by the right person, and the stars are aligned, and you get that aha moment, and bam, there's a change.
I love the aha moment, don't you?
Yeah. Yes. So how can people get in contact with you? Joey, as well as how can they tap in if they want to check out the Golden Nugget?
It's onegoldennugget.com. And you can it's free. You can get in there and jump into the universe and just start digging for some wisdom. It's all over the place. How to get in touch with me?
Wow.
Yeah, check it out, Sherri. I'll send you a widget where you can leave us a nugget on my founders page, and you'll help a lot of people. I promise you that. Otherwise, on LinkedIn, Joseph Pollaro. On Facebook, Efficacy Life Coaching, and my website, www.effficacylifecoaching.com.
Awesome sauce.
Awesome.
Well, Joey, we have certainly appreciated having you with us tonight. And since it is close to the end of our show, we want you to stay put. We're going to go ahead and close out, but we're going to end with you. So with that being said, we're going to put Joey on pause just for a second. Don't go nowhere, Joey. Stay right there. We want to remind you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure again to like, love, and share, because you never know who may need this inspirational word that has been shared tonight. Make sure that you go on over to Facebook to B3rdPower, as well as follow us and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. There you can catch up with all of our latest episodes, as well as some of the new stuff that we're putting out that's solely going to be placed on YouTube. But you got to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel to get that. Without anything further, wait a minute, one more thing. Be sure, if you are someone making big moves in the community, you're bridging gaps, you're being intentional, and you're building community, we want to hear about you. Go ahead and send us an email at b3rdpower@gmail.com. That's B3rdPower@gmail.com. We would love to hear about you, and we would love to have you on as a guest. Yes. We are all about spreading the good news and the fantabulous things that are happening all over the world. We are a global show.
Fantabulous.
So it does not matter where you are. We've had people from Australia, people from Canada, people from Kenya, all over. I think Zimbabwe too, all over. So yeah. We service a global community, and we want to highlight you if you are doing great things in the community. So go ahead, shout out to us at b3rdpower@gmail.com. And
make sure that you go subscribe to our YouTube channel at B3rdPower. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button
and the bell ding.
And the bell ding.
So you get notified when we go live. Now, as you know, today is a great day to make a difference in the lives of those around you. I'm Tate.
And I'm Sherri Cook.
And this has been B3rdPower. But before we go, Joseph is going to take us out with a golden nugget.
I'm being put on the spot. Okay. What comes to mind is what was touched on here tonight. And it's a Latin phrase, and it's ade parvum, parvo magnus, acervus erit. And what that means is add a little to a little, there will be a great heap. That's my golden nugget for today. Thank you, ladies. I had a great time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joey. Thank you so much, Miss Ethel. We always enjoy having you. We love talking to Joey, and we hope to have you on again in the very near future. Again, guys, have a fantastic week. Go make a difference. Go make them dreams come true. Work hard and help somebody else.
That's right.
We love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
That's
have
right.
a good one.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you.